A couple years back, I had no friends and was feeling quite lonely. But then the new year came and I found one friend. And this one friend, I can still remember, we played Fortnite every day. Didn't matter when. The weekends we'd completely fill up with Fortnite games. We'd be jumping in, losing, jumping in again. Then I remember it was quite amazing knowing that somebody was always down to play. But over time, I didn't enjoy the game we played anymore. It was no fun because, I had these moments, but it got less and less. And now the only reason I played Fortnite still was because of the friend, which was my only friend. I didn't want to just leave him because I'd be alone again. I was really scared of being alone in that phase because I finally made a friend. It got to the point where the whole day in school, at family events, I would be playing these films in my head, these movies in my head, of how me and my squad, we had now assembled like 4 people that were quite good together. That we just played Fortnite, and I I played this in my head and was sitting with the with my family at the restaurant table, and suddenly I just want to go home, turn on my PC and play a little. My dad would always come upstairs and ask what I was doing when I was playing. And he got quite angry a lot of the time because I was basically wasting my youth, right? I did not have any hobbies. He said that I was addicted, and I was addicted. But I hid from the truth and said, no, I'm not. All the time. So looking back now, of course, I see that the friends weren't a problem for me not being fulfilled with my social life because I was still lonely playing with them. But it was actually the reality that I had built up in my head. It was the relationship to myself. Because the relationship to yourself matters the most in your social life. Because you spend 100% of the time with yourself, right? Maybe 40% of the time with your best friends. So, do you talk good about yourself? When you mess up, maybe put a nail in the wrong wall, do you say, oh no, and laugh about it? Or do you say, oh, I'm such a stupid bastard? Do you laugh for some random reasons, or do you stay just quiet all the time? In fact, when's the last time you felt so free as to scream in the forest? When's the last time you screamed at all? The first thing we gotta look at is the reality that other people won't fix your loneliness. They won't feel the hole that you are feeling in yourself. I try to get up all these meaningless friendships that meant nothing to me, that were built on this shaky Fortnite foundation, because I didn't want to be alone. And it's the fear of being alone that has to be eliminated in some way. Your social life is always there because you're with yourself 100% of the time. And in a way, you gotta make yourself your best friend. Because imagine if you were just some stranger to yourself and you'd be speaking with yourself all the time. And then you say mean things about yourself. So, I hope that wasn't too loud. My mom's cooking right now. Yeah. I broke character, oh no. Shit. Yeah, so it's the loneliness that can't be filled with other people. You gotta fix it yourself, you gotta be your best friend, you gotta talk to yourself in a good manner, right? Like you would want your best friend to do it. So for that, you have to become proud of yourself. You have to develop in a way that you think isn't quite easy, in a way that you think you've achieved something. Because imagine the guy who just thinks that he's worse than everybody else. That will of course reflect itself in his behavior, in his social life, in the talks with himself. Like you gotta live life and then change the things that you don't like yourself with some initiative. For me back then I was really damn fat and I hated every second of it. Being in public with my fat stomach. And I wish I had taken some initiative back then, but it was too uncomfortable trying to change myself. And so I ran around for 3 more years, chubby. Even though I wanted to lose weight and have a nice body like the athletes in my class. Or maybe your friends aren't your real friends. Have you thought about your friends, your social circle, being not the guys you want to be around? Like, in fact, they can make you feel lonelier because you're living this inauthentic life with people that you don't actually respect, that you don't actually want to spend time with. So it's you're putting up a wall in front of you from your self-seeing. Like, are these guys your real friends? Do they fulfill you in a way that you can grow with them? That you feel like they got your back? Because for me, I'm not gonna lie, I still have guys around me in my social circle that I don't really trust. Like, they aren't my friends, but we meet up quite a lot because it's totally fine meeting up with friends that with people that aren't really your friends, by the way. Like you can still have good conversations, make good stories with them. Like I had this one day I cloned trees with one guy. That was quite difficult, if I'm being honest. And still, it's a nice story to have, right? And so that's no issue. But you gotta see who you let in into your close soul to get it, like what you really stand for, what your real truths are. Do these trends align with your truth? That's a question you gotta ask yourself. Then attracting good people that fulfill you is not so hard as it may seem, but it can be quite a long way if you haven't already started developing yourself. The way you wanna attract positive, wholesome people is by being the wholesome guy first. Because people of the same caliber, of the same ideology, of the same feelings come together. Like you see all these emo groups or like hobby guys with hobbies. They of course just clump together like this, and then more and more come. And if you're one of these positive guys, of course you're gonna attract these other wholesome people that will also clump together, like the fitness guys. So it's quite important that you become the person you want to have around yourself. And that you feel proud of yourself as well with that. It's that easy, really, to attract people. Then you gotta be confident that you contribute to your people, to your friends. Because if you don't, you over time you will get this feeling that makes you quite insecure. This feeling that you feel like you're letting down the others, and with that also yourself. Because if you don't give them as much and they give you more, like you know there's something wrong. And if you're an emotionally intelligent person, you will see it directly and then feel like an because of it. The last note I want to talk about is that you reflect yourself in strangers. If you go out and see these people, you're just assuming who they are, and in a way that reflects like a mirror back onto yourself. Because if you assume these are good people, then that means you yourself have a quite positive way of thinking about social life, and that's a really good sign to be starting off with that. If you then go on to the next step and greet people, it will be even better because now you're acting more in a human way than if you just had your hands in your pocket and listened to your AirPods and just looked at the ground and walked by, greeting them, smiling at them, maybe even doing small talk if it fits the situation. So all of these are some steps to get you into the right direction, and I really hope this helps you. So remember that you actually got to do the first step with yourself. You got to build the core of your social life so that the rest can just align to it. It's kind of like this planet where all the meteors fly around them. Do you get me? And you have to have the gravitational force to make a nice ring around yourself to get fulfilled and not just have empty rock clumps around you. Yeah. Happy holidays. Hope you're doing good. And I'll see you next time.